Worst take. Yesterday, we were saying happy birthday. Today, we saying happy lawsuit. Jay-Z was served a civil lawsuit with some pretty heinous crimes in there. Saying that he was convicted of graping. I say grape for YouTube. A 13-year-old girl in the year 2000. Have you read the suit? Have you heard what the attorney has to say? Did you hear Hove's response? I gotta get your thoughts on this.
I've been keeping up with it very, 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 very close, as close as any of us can. So for me, it's hard to be a black billionaire in today's world because it seems like they're coming after you. Let's keep it a beam. I read the timeline, everything that happened. From what my recollection of what happened, seems like the guy they filed a lawsuit about Diddy, and they had Celebrity A and Celebrity A woman in the room. Blah 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 blah. He then proceeds to send a demand letter for monetary compensation from Hove. Hove, in response, puts his money to work, starts putting investigators out there about this guy and who he's talking about because they haven't mentioned her, and then I think he filed the lawsuit against the attorney. The attorney then refiled a month later, a month and a half later, or 2 months later, whenever it was, because this was originally in October. Refiled the case and then named Hove. And Hove shot off a response. Basically, fuck around and find out. That's how I read it. I'm from Brooklyn. I'm not like these other celebrities. I came from nothing. I ain't scared to go back to nothing. But you giving these out here, call the police. That's his attitude at this point. Don't come for money. Call the police. If I did all that, I should be in jail. That's Ho's response. Send me to jail if I did all this. Don't ask for money because you're not gonna get a dime. It's something about niggas from Brooklyn. They let you know in every situation they from Brooklyn. They do. They let you know I'm from Brooklyn. I'm not like you. And I think it was genius on Hove's part to respond that way instead of having a letter from his attorney crafted. Because I looked at a lot of things on social media, and a lot of people that were originally going, oh, this happened, it happened, are going, well, I kind of like his response because it didn't seem like get me out of trouble. It seemed like, yo, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. Let's do it right now. And then since then, Hove has actually filed a petition to, he wants to face his accuser. She needs to be named since they're naming him, which I'm not upset with. And also, he wanted an expedited hearing to dismiss these charges, the suit, if she doesn't come forward and put her name on it. Doesn't seem like Hove is fucking around. It seems like Hove is like, I'm built different. And if I go back to Marcy Projects, I'll just pick up another pack. I'm saying
Hove is too famous to do that now.
Hey. Hove has he may not pick up a pack, but I believe Hove taking penitentiary chances for his family. I think he seems like that type of dude. That
his wife is still Beyonce. He'll be.
His wife is still Beyonce, and at the end of the day, he's like, my money's gonna run a lot longer, and I'm probably willing to spend $100 million. But he basically said, you ain't gonna get a dime out of me. All his raps come true. So different from Drake. he said all these things. I got money for lawyers. So dress warm. So dress warm.
Charges don't stick to dude.
And he also said, you won't get the dime out of 2 cents out of me. He said these things. You ain't gonna get shit from me. I'm not these other niggas. We will see where it goes from here. I'm not going to say, do I believe it or not? It seems a little outrageous 24 years later that, we're coming up with anonymous lawsuits that, hey, same thing I said in Diddy's case, man. If Hove did it, as big as a fan of I am a Hove, if he did it, send his ass to jail. Fuck the money. Send his ass to jail.
Yeah, I mean, I read through the suit because it's been published online. the claims that are in there seem really far-fetched. Like really far-fetched. They seem really weird. And if these things were even remotely true, I would look at Jay completely differently.
1000%.
Just based on the character that he's shown people for 30 years, this just doesn't seem like him. But hey, like you said, if it is, throw him in jail. He deserves it. I do like the way that he's approaching things, but I'll just caution Hove of this, right? So civil suits and state and federal investigations do not work together unless they work together. So him jumping out there and saying, well, you should be talking to the police. It's like, well, this victim may have already been talking to the police. And this victim may be talking to the police right now. She could fuck around and be a star witness for some shit that you about to get wrapped up in. So don't scream and wish for that in your life, because it can end up becoming a real problem. And I know Jay's on the precipice of doing some really big deals. So yeah, like you just don't wish. I wouldn't want that on, I wouldn't want that on Jay. And I just don't want him to wish it on himself, because, you get to spending 10 million here, 5 million here, 20 million here on all these different stupid civil suits because people are just going to get a check out of you to prove that they can do it. That's not a good situation. So, yeah, I hope that, it's untrue, as he said. I do like the fact that he made a statement rather than it coming from his lawyer. And I also like the fact that, he's acting quickly. It's not like, it's taking weeks or months or anything like that. He's like, no. Reveal her name. I need an expedited hearing. Let's get this shit over with. If this is really what she's saying.
This is not a negotiation.
Yeah, this is not a negotiation. If this is what she's saying, cool. Let's face it. And I do like that approach. But all that, you should be in criminal court. Well, pump your brakes. So you may not want that, because, and the reason why I say that is because for state and federal RICO charges, they don't necessarily have to have evidence.
But so the reason, this is how I see it. I can't fathom myself ever doing anything like the sickening what they trying to say he did to a 13-year-old. And if someone accused me of that, that would be my response.
I completely understand that.
That would it wasn't, for lack of a better term, the Puff situation where Puff waited a little long. It didn't come off like that. It didn't come off as scripted, and it came off as, you said I did what? And I got a kid this old? Yo, man. I mean, you talking to the wrong person then.
Hey, I completely understand it. That's a personal thing, though.
Yes.
When you're talking about being an ultra celebrity, having billions of dollars, and those billions of dollars are tied into a lot of corporate entities, it's a game of chess. And at that point, putting out the idea will spark legal minds to figure out how they can. So a lot of times you don't even need to espouse the idea. Just, keep civil, keep criminal, because with these RICO charges, they can use circumstantial evidence to get an indictment.
Well, let's be honest. With his name, they're gonna, if they can do that, they're gonna do that anyway.
I mean, yes and no, because like okay, we talked about the Diddy situation at length, so I'll kind of reference that in this situation. If you look at Diddy's situation, if it wasn't for him not negotiating with Cassie behind doors and closing that deal before it actually was a civil suit that was filed, Diddy may not be in jail right now. And if we're really keeping it tall, based on the indictment as it is, now I know there's a lot of rumors of a superseding indictment and all these other things, but based on the indictment as it is, that's a light fucking RICO case. Yes. But it's a RICO case. It's super light.
I mean, the feds are going to do what the feds going to do.
Yeah, light to the point where if they go in, I think the date is May 5th or something like that. If they go in May 5th 2025 with this current indictment, Diddy has a good chance of beating it.
Oh, he might walk.
He might walk.
He might walk.
So with the Jay situation, that's why I'm saying I think a lot of times these federal prosecutors, they think if we just get enough for an indictment, they just might fold.
And let me just spell some rumors because I'm so sick of the internet facts. One, I'm sick of everyone. Like if we're gonna accuse someone of something, let's accuse them of the right thing, right? Everyone, the first thing they jump to is the obvious, Foxy Brown. The Aaliyah thing it's within the last 6 months. All of a sudden, he dated Aaliyah now. I've never heard that into 2024. First of all, he didn't date Aaliyah. R. Kelly and Dame dated Aaliyah. Let's get that understood. That's what we know, not what we're assuming all of a sudden because we want to just indict every black man with some money.
As much as Dame been yapping lately, he would have been said that Jay-Z dated Aaliyah.
Foxy Brown, if you do simple math, Foxy Brown, by the time she was in the music industry, was about 96. At that point, Foxy Brown would have been 18. But that's not my point here. My point is Foxy Brown for the last 30 years, plus years, has said nothing has ever happened with me and Jay-Z. So it's either, is it believe her? And it's believe her unless she says it didn't happen. Then it's like
Jay even said it on the record. I never stuck my cock in the fox's box, but damn if I ain't open Pandora's box. They tried to slander your man on CNN and Fox.
Like, but Fox, it's like we say believe her. And then when she says it didn't happen, they go, well, we don't believe you. Like, come on, man, make it make sense.
The one that kills me the most is the Beyonce thing.
That shit is so crazy. If you do the math there, is she about 18 when they probably met? Yeah, but who said they start dating at that point in time? Relax.
That's my point. Like, even when they talked about it, it wasn't, they said it didn't become a thing until around the time they did the Bonnie and Clyde record. That was like 2003. Like, what are we talking about? It's 2002, 2003, and this has been his wife for over a decade now. They have
that we know of. Yeah, that we know of because he was married for 4 years when he said shit.
Exactly. They had 4 fucking kids together. Clearly, she's not traumatized.
Yo. At the end of the day, man, we saw this coming because let's keep it a being. Human beings are haters. And they get upset when someone is winning so bad that they want them to fall. Mm-hmm. And we see it in sports dynasties. And I never understood it. I'll give you an example. When USC was really good, I'm not a USC fan. I wasn't walking around going, I can't wait for them to lose. When the Bulls were good, I wasn't saying I hope they lose. I wasn't doing that. The only team I'm rooting for is teams I have investment in. And the same thing can be applied to people. Why do we get these emotions about people who are successful and automatically assume that somehow they've crossed these so outrageous lines to get where they are? It ain't the Illuminati, to quote my nigga Bleak. It ain't the Illuminati. It's the Illumigrind. You're just not as talented as them, and you didn't work as hard. That's why they're them, and we're us. It is what it is.
Yeah. It's a lot of other people's success to people is a reminder of their failures.
Exactly.
And that's the shit I never got with when it came. Because look, man, I'm an artist. I know I didn't sell millions of records, and I didn't go platinum, and I didn't have a hit record or whatever. But I've been an artist in this industry for 25 years. I've moved with the shakers and the movers. I've toured with the shakers and the movers. I've shook hands with these niggas. I still have great relationships with a lot of people in the music business. A lot of people that we know, common names. These guys are not shaking hands with some devil behind the curtain to get their success. But because you couldn't figure it out, all of a sudden they had to have done something that was outer worldly for them to be successful. I hate that premise. I hate that notion. When people start talking conspiracy theory around celebrities, I usually tune out. I can't fucking listen to it because, look, man, there's only supposed to be a chosen few. Just because you weren't chosen doesn't mean you're not special. You got to just prove that you're special in your way. Everyone has their gift, and your gift just wasn't to be a famous rapper. And that's okay. But some people can't accept that, bro. And that's where I feel like a lot of this shit comes from. Like, I had a friend of mine, I was kind of let down. I seen today. He posts some weird shit online, like, down goes Jay-Z. Always knew he was a weirdo. Like, what? Like, over a civil suit of accusations? And this is a man.
Time out.
Newsflash. You don't know these niggas.
You don't know them. Hey, I told you earlier, man. Look, I love Hov. I don't know Sean Carter. I don't know these people. Stop acting like you have this imminent knowledge of these celebrities. You don't know them. So you can't say what they would do and what they wouldn't. And it's equally almost.
See, that's another thing. Like, me being who I am and being around people that have large, audiences and they're super celebrities, bro. To be around someone like that is also to know that there's a microscope on them that you've never even imagined in your life.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times celebrities are put in a bubble to not fuck up or not do wrong because of the level of microscope that's on them. Yes. Most celebrities are celebrities to everyone around them. Even to their families, they become celebrities to a lot of these people.
Yep.
So these guys can't as much as take a shit in private, or they can't as much as do anything without their assistant right next to them because they would have a witness to something that they're doing. So when I'm a little pessimistic about these accusations, it's not because I don't think they're possible. Anything is possible. But if you've ever been around someone, even with half the celebrity that Jay-Z has, you would understand why a person would have to go to extraordinary lengths to be able to do shit like that in the open. And you will also understand, especially in 2024, in fact, anytime past the iPhone 10, my nigga, anytime past then, bro, this is snitch culture. What are you talking about? Everybody wants clout. If niggas is having parties where there's hundreds of people involved in these sex charades, you think niggas wouldn't know? You think there wouldn't be footage of this shit? Like, I just don't understand how people don't understand how celebrities walk on eggshells, bro. They're not free people. If anything, they are the people that are in prison.
And still, we got pictures of certain dignitaries and powerful people with Jeffrey Epstein on his island, but we don't say nothing about that.
No.
I mean, everybody, every. You know what's funny? Oh, no, I'm not even gonna say that. I'm gonna leave that alone. Leave that alone for you two. I forgot we was having a conversation. You're not gonna get me.
All right, I'm gonna help you out. Switching subjects. Yeah. CEO shooter was caught. The guy that was accused of shooting the CEO of United Healthcare was caught today in Pennsylvania. Got to get your thoughts on just this whole situation all the way up to his capture. What do you think?
Free my nigga Butter from the box. No, yo, but I mean, he got caught in Philly, man. That's a 2-hour drive away. I could have gotten to Mexico. Like, what's wrong, man? You've been 4 days and all you got was to Philly? Come on, man. The train moved faster than that. Your car moved faster than that. You was at JFK. You could have jumped on at LaGuardia and you got out of here. You could have got out of town, man. You didn't have a plan. You just went in there and popped him and went back home. Like, I'm trying to figure out what is he doing. Or he went back to work and act like everything was okay. I'm not sure what exactly happened there. They found him, but you know what? I know all jokes aside, yeah, man. These companies going to start treating people right, or you're going to see more of this. We have these conversations offline all the time, and you know me. I'm a little more doomsday than you are. You're the conspiracy theorist, but I'm a little more, hey, yo, we close. The edge is closer than you say, than you think. And it ain't really a conspiracy. It's more about, the levee has to break. You can't keep squeezing people for everything they got before they rebel against you. My man, they said he had like UN Health has like 90 billion in profit. They said they were denying people chemo treatments even though they had cancer. Like they're showing letters of doctors going, yo, they need this this medicine, this nausea medicine, and they just had chemo, and they denied them twice, like pretty much fuck them. So what do you think is gonna happen if you charging people these outrageous ass prices for their insurance? Then you don't cover shit, and then the things they do need, they really, really, really need. You go, fuck them. Our profits are more important. That's gonna start happening to a lot of these CEOs, and not just in the health sector, a lot of different sectors. If they don't stop squeezing people, eggs are $6, my nigga. What happens when it goes 12?
Yeah.
And we want to get rid of people who help keep that cost down. What do you think?
Now we gonna have a whole nother conversation.
Hey, which we have it's a conflicted conversation, but that's the reality of what could happen, right? Yo,
Yeah,
man, don't stay safe, stay dangerous. That's why I went black.
I'll say this, man, about the CEO and shit. Like, I hate to see a life lost like that. He was a father of like 2 daughters, and he was married and shit. And even though him and his wife were, estranged or whatever, that's still, his wife. That was his spouse, and I'm sure she's broken by the news. I also want to point out that he was just the CEO of the company. There's a board, there's investors, there's a lot of people that decide how profits in that company come about. There's a lot of people that decide policy that are way more powerful than the CEO. And I just want to point out that he is a cog in the wheel. I understand that he is the face of it, and he was the person that was the demise of it, or he was the person that took the brunt of the demise of whatever this person was trying to get after. However, he is a cog in the wheel. It's a lot bigger than him. That whole entire industry and its very unethical ways of practice are way bigger than this CEO. So I hate to see it on a personal level. On a societal level, yeah, I understand it. People are frustrated, and this person, according to the things that the news has reported, had a real vendetta against him for some situation that I guess happened with his family. And so he decided to take matters into his own hands. And I completely understand that frustration. I get it. Like, your family member dies or is on the verge of dying or whatever the situation is, and you're saying this company made $90 billion. They approved this same thing for a bunch of other people, but denied it for you. I'm not saying that's the situation, but that's where the frustration comes from situations like that. So it's fucked up, man. It's fucked up on both sides. In regard to him, I told y'all in a private conversation, and I'll say it here. The niggas should have just had a little hideout spot in New York and just stayed in New York for 30 to 60 days until the shit died down, and then he could have just walked up out of there.
Man.
Trying to run in this day and age with cameras everywhere is not smart. Unless you already have a spot in the middle of nowhere you can go to, that's probably not smart. Should have had a little joint, you know what I mean? Little girl that's super, super down for you. And you go, all right, listen, you're going to be my little errand person. You're not going to say nothing. You're going to go to the store. You're going to give me the food. I'm going to give you the money, and I'm going to just stay here for 2 months. I'm not going nowhere. I'm not looking out the window. You put me in the back spot where it's dark, and I'm going to stay right here. I'm not getting on no social media. I'm not logging into any of my accounts. It's time to learn how to meditate. And that's it. 60 days later, the news is no longer covering it. The police are no longer on edge, and you can walk your ass to Mexico damn near. But that's just my theory. That's my conspiracy theory.
Man, my man went to Philly. Like, yo, you went to one of the tri-states. At least go to like Cleveland. like, yo, who's coming to Cleveland to find you?
That part.
Like, really? Like, come on, man.
Yeah. He went to PA, but it's hard to get out of the tri-state because they're over there recording everything.
Yeah.
That's why I said once you got in the Central Park and you get no more tracking on you, you put on your little disguise and you go to that apartment. And and it's New York, it's cold.
He's supposed to come out like this.
Yeah, it's New York. It's cold. You can put on a poo shiesty. You can put on a poo shiesty in New York.
It's cold right now, man.
Put that on. Go into the little brownstone.
He's supposed to have a reversible jacket and everything. And yo, I'm out. Like, oh, that's not him.
Go to the little fucking brownstone and chill there for 90 days.
That's not him. That's not him. They're like, yo, man. But hey, I know this. I agree with you when it comes to his family, but but I do understand the sentiment of people saying, well, he didn't care about other people's families as well. And yes, he is a clog in the whole system, but he's the biggest message that someone can send.
For sure.
And we know this because Blue Cross had that anesthesia thing they were putting in place where they're going to cut it at a certain time period. No matter how long your procedure going, they was going to leave the rest of the bill, which is very, very expensive, with the patient. He got popped 24 hours later. They said, nah, man, we good. People get, I hate to say it, but I always say nothing gets changed in peacetime.
No.
It's only violence in this country changes things. And you go look at the history of this country. Every time we had major changes, unfortunately, violence had to happen. You had to have unrest. You had to have people uncomfortable. Hey,
we as a human race, we gotta evolve from that shit.
You ain't lying, but it's got to be from the top down because they're the ones. I think they're the ones in these situations that we're referring to are causing these pains with these high ass prices for just about everything in life right now. Meanwhile, they're all getting record profits.
Yeah, it's hard out here for.
It's inflation and saying it's inflation. Your profits is inflated. Let's keep it a bean. Your profits.
I'm sure security firms around the country got a lot of calls this last week.
100%.
I'm sure. I should have bought some security stocks.
Yep. I bought some Black Ops security stocks. Those are what they got to hire.
All right, so let's finally talk some sports. The college football playoffs have been announced. Did the committee get it right? Why? Why not?
I got a long time. I got a long time for this rant,
brother. You guys, as long as you want. This is what you wrote it for.
Yeah. Sure did. Let me start off like this because everyone's gonna come in Alabama homer. Per the Alabama standard, I'm not upset for not getting in because we didn't live up to our standard. But based off the rest of the country, you can't tell me that Alabama wasn't one of the 12 best and most deserving teams. My biggest problem, no, they didn't. Let me start there. No, they didn't get it right. My biggest complaint was before Selection Sunday on Tuesday, the chairman came out and said, Alabama with 3 losses was ahead of Miami with 2 losses based off of Alabama's scheduling and just the overall was better than Miami's. You know who's scheduling and wins and losses was worse than Miami's? SMU's.
Mm-hmm.
So what changed from Tuesday to Sunday? That's not even 7 days. What changed in 5 days that you go, well, they're here? You're saying they were in a ACC title game. Understandable. That title was won by a team who got their ass kicked by Georgia, who Alabama beat, and who also lost the last week of the season, South Carolina, which Alabama beat. Maybe the ACC just isn't fucking good. We need to stop pretending like all conference are created equal. Because as of right now, I don't know if you've seen it, but I've seen it. Alabama's AD, all the SEC teams' ADs, and the commissioner SEC is saying we're going to evaluate our non-conference schedule since strength of schedule doesn't matter. And all we have to do is all we have to do is go 6-2 in our conference. So they're going to schedule a bunch of Dukes. That's a shot at SMU's best win. Duke. They're gonna schedule Duke and all these other teams, these really bad teams, and say we're just gonna go 6-2 in our conference and we'll be in. And then you know what's gonna happen, because there's so much SEC envy. Everyone's going to say, well, you guys are scheduling soft. Well, shit, scheduling hard didn't help. Right. And we're not talking about a close strength of schedule. We're talking about the 13th best strength of schedule to the 75th best strength. Right. It's not even close. We're not even in the same ballpark of teams right now. And we're talking about a separation of one loss. Yes, Alabama has some bad losses. I'm not seeing it. Everyone keeps talking about why Alabama didn't deserve to get in, but no one tell me why SMU deserved to get in. I can make a case why they deserve to get in. So what's more important to the public? And I get it. It's Alabama fatigue. Everybody hates Alabama at this point. They're just happy Alabama's not in it. But the goal is to get the best 12 teams, isn't it?
Right.
That
should be the goal.
That's what they're telling us, right? That's what we went from 2 to 4, 4 to 12, right? That's the whole point of this.
Yep.
So we didn't do that. We failed at that because we decided to appease a bunch of people with these participation awards. We're going to have a bunch of blowouts. What we're going to do it. So what we should do is, and this is in conclusion, I'll leave in like this. I can fix it. And you know how you fix it? No one's guaranteed anything. Not your conference champion. No one. You have 12 spots. If you can't be one of the top 12, quite frankly, you don't need a guarantee to get in. You don't deserve it. So, yes, Arizona State will be out. Yes, Clemson will be out. Why not? We want the 12 best teams, regardless of conference. Get them in. Why do we have to appease Boise State, whose best win is UNLV? Respectfully, right? But if you look at the Mountain West Conference, there's only 3 teams above 500. But Boise State has a bye.
Yeah. So,
and the ACC. They're talking about, well, we're better than them. You are. But your champion lost to Georgia, SEC team. They got blown out. They lost to South Carolina, and they're going to lose to Texas. They're going to be 1-3 versus SEC. What is that saying for your fucking conference champion?
Nothing. That's my main issue with it. I mean, I'm not a super college football head, but I do understand strength of schedule. And I do understand that Alabama had the 13th best strength of schedule. So I don't understand how teams like Clemson, SMU, Boise State, Penn State, Notre Dame, these are teams that are just not better than Alabama. And if the goal is to put the best 12 teams in the tournament, which is why it was expanded to 12 teams, then you should put the best 12 teams in there, and you should heavily consider strength of schedule, because that is what's going to determine what the best teams are. I just don't see how this tournament has, like I said, Penn State, SMU, brother, even Indiana to a certain degree.
No, Indiana's before Penn State because Penn State beat Indiana.
Clemson, Boise State, Notre Dame, Arizona State. Like, I feel like Alabama can beat all these teams.
They can, and they would. So, and I want to interrupt you for a quick second on here. So, I'm going to name some teams: Indiana, Boise State, Clemson, SMU, Indiana. Did I say Penn State?
Mm-hmm.
Hell, Texas have a combined 2 wins versus the top 25. You know how many Alabama got? 3. How the fuck are they not in? How are they not in?
My only I guess I could say accountability that I'm going to put on Alabama is you cannot go out there and lose to teams like Vanderbilt. You can't.
Well, it wasn't the Vanderbilt. It was Oklahoma's bullshit. Because Vanderbilt ended up being pretty decent.
The Vanderbilt loss was bad. You gave up 40 points to Vanderbilt.
1,000%.
That's a bad loss. And that's a loss. That's a loss that when you're looking at your schedule, you're not overlooking them, but you're counting that as a W.
But I do agree with that. But like Nick Saban said it best.
And I heard him. I heard that. Yeah.
When Nick Saban said, he goes, when you have to play 3 teams that are ranked, and you have Georgia right before Vanderbilt, guess what's going to happen?
Yeah, for sure. You're going to be beat up going into the
You're going to be beat up, and you don't have the focus that you need to have, as opposed to. I mean, I'm trying to figure out SMU who they beat, as opposed to playing Duke. You know what I'm saying? And understand this. I started this by saying I'm not really upset to Alabama to get in because as a standard, we failed. Losing to
the standard, you failed, but I mean, you're still one of the best 12 teams in the nation.
Yeah, eliminate the automatics. Eliminate them.
Yeah, I can't. College football is a really confusing space. Confusing space.
You know, what happens if the SEC pulls out of the college football playoff altogether? Then it's worthless.
Oh, it's 100% worthless.
Then it's worthless.
Yeah, Notre Dame goes back to being a marquee program, which would be terrible. So who's your championship prediction? Who's in the championship game?
Texas and Georgia. and quite frankly, Oregon, you guys have played a great season and you got fucked. Of all the teams that didn't get a bye, they got two of the hardest three teams.
Yeah, I got a difference of opinion. I think Georgia and Oregon. I think Oregon can beat Texas. Well, we'll see.
Here's the thing, and you ain't gonna like this. I don't think Oregon's gonna beat Ohio State a second time this year because that's what they play into. And I believe if Tennessee beats Ohio State, they're not gonna beat Tennessee. I'm gonna say it that way.
Well, if they don't get past the winner of Ohio State and Tennessee, then I'm going with Texas.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be, and that's gonna be the thing. Who's the champion? I'm just gonna roll with Kirby because they just look more physical than Texas, but it's hard. It's gonna be hard to beat them 3 times in a row.
Sure.
It's gonna be hard to beat 3 times in the same year. That's hard, bro.
That's really hard.
That's good. And I would feel bad if that is the matchup for Georgia. And I'm not feeling bad for Georgia, but I'm saying if I was Georgia, I'd be like, dude, we got to play these motherfuckers a third time?
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of get back to be amped up going into that game.
I dig deep in that heart.
Man,
deep in that heart.
And you lose the only one that counts.
Yeah, for sure. And that happens all the time.
All the time.
In all sports.
In every sport.
So speaking of all the time, Juan Soto signed a 15-year, $765 million deal with the New York Mets. They said he allegedly left the Yankees for $5 million. So what are your thoughts on the deal? This seems like he's going to be getting paid forever.
So he got a $15 million deal, $15 million deal, $765.
It's a retirement deal. He's never playing for another franchise.
Never again. They won't be able to trade him. And he left, and I think the Yankees offered 16 years for $760. So
that is more than $5 million
total. But when you look at it, it's only $4 million a year that he left the Yankees for. Which tells me 2 things. Scott Boras pushed this because he wanted an over $50 million deal. He wanted that on his thing. Scott is the biggest agent in sports agent in baseball, and he wanted this deal. He wanted to set this precedence for his clients. And he just have egos too. 2, so don't have no pressure anymore of actually going and winning a World Series because he would have signed that deal with the Yankees. The expectations every year would have been, you must win a World Series, if not 2 or 3. And I mean, I'm not upset with him for getting his money. And then he going, well, they didn't expect us to win anyway, so fuck it. He is the best of both worlds. There's no accountability. He stays in the city he obviously likes. And I don't have to worry about them yelling and screaming at me for not winning the World Series. They're happy from me just being there. And it's so overpaid because he can't field. He's a terrible fielder and he can't run bases. He can hit the ball, though. But damn, overcharging for what they did to the Cold Crush.
Queens get the money, man.
Yeah,
Damn,
Queens
the
get
Mets.
the money.
Queens get the money. Jesus. I mean, shout out to the Mets, man. They picked up an amazing player. I wish the Yankees could have retained him. 16 years is a long time, though, so I'm probably happy that doesn't turn into what it's going to turn into, which is a really bad contract.
Yes, it is.
As well, I wonder, right? So, like, players like Juan Soto, this is just a hypothetical or just, throwing the idea out there. Why do they sign for such long deals? In 10 years, that's going to be a low deal.
He got a 5-year opt-out. He has a 5-year opt-out. But he's 29. My whole thing is, once you hit 32, the deal goes down.
Is it a player option?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, he's picking up every year.
He's got to pick up every year.
Every year. He's going to play till he's 44 years old, and he's going to have a sling on walking out there. Yeah, for sure.
So why? So as a Yankee, and as a Met, why do the deal? That's a long deal for a guy who's going to be playing in his 40s, in his mid 40s. You're not getting one season in his 40s. You're going to get multiple years in his 40s where you're going to be like, oh my God, I can't wait for this to end. Give him the $50 million. Give him the $50 million and make it 10 years.
Hey man, listen. Shout out to the Soto family.
1,000%. I ain't mad at it. Queens get the money.
Salute y'all. Queens get the money.
I ain't upset with it.
Everybody that wears a Mets cap wearing proud because that's the only nigga y'all gonna have.
I'm just being objective here. But if it was me, I'm signing the same deal.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And without question, hey, you offered it. It ain't what. It's not what you. It's not what you.
I'm taking that money right now if they sign me. I don't even play baseball.
You know what they say? It's not what you're worth. It's what you can negotiate.
100%.
That's what you think. That's it.
And Scott Boras can negotiate.
Woo! One of the greatest ever.
All right, so let's get the hot takes. NFL MVP race. Who's your top 3 right now, and who wins?
Is there really 3? I know I put 3, but there's not really 3.
I think there's 4, but go ahead.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, give me your 4 then first. Give me your 4 because I don't think it's 4.
I got Josh Allen.
That's on my list.
I got Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
I got Jared Goff. And I got Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, those are 2. Hey, are we talking about 1A, 1B class?
I think there's really 3 in the race, though. And I think the 3 in the race are Josh Allen, Goff, and Saquon. I think those are the real contenders in the race.
I agree. Look, so on the surface of the playing field, I agree with those 4.
Yeah, I think Lamar's on the outside.
Yeah. So I only really have 2. And I'll tell you why. On the service field, you're 100% right. I think Goff should be in there on the playing field. But, this is a money thing, too, and I just don't see them giving it to Jared Goff. I see them giving it to a marquee player like Saquon or Josh Allen. I mean, they were saying Josh Allen won the award last night in a loss. I mean, only white men in America can fill up like this. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I get what you're saying in regard to the market. I just hope that it's not like that because at the end of the day, Jared Goff is having an amazing season. His team is rocking and rolling. They're real legit Super Bowl contenders. And they're probably going to be the number 1 seed out of the NFC. So, I mean, and the NFC is the tougher conference. I don't see the issue in giving it to him. And Detroit is a deserving city, man. That city's been through a lot of shit. Because for them to be able to see some wins, that's great for that city.
The reason is because they've been trying to give Josh Allen this award for the last 7 years. That's why they've been pushing him. They've been putting him in front of us for 7 years, and he is the one.
Hey, I keep it real. Right now, I do think Josh Allen is doing more with less. So I will say right now, 1,000%. I probably would edge it to Josh Allen. But those are my 3 contenders.
So who's your 1? I got my 1. Mine's is Barkley.
My 1 is Josh Allen.
Mine's is Barkley.
Okay. Yeah.
Mine's is Barkley.
Yeah. I understand that. I have no problem with that.
If it's between Allen and Goff, I'm taking Josh. I'll give it to Josh.
Well, I think that if I had to rank them, I'm putting Allen, Barkley, Goff.
They won't give it to a running back though. But I mean,
I don't know, man. Saquon is playing out of his mind, bro. Saquon's playing out of his mind. That reverse jump, Dog, that dude is playing out of
I
his
agree
mind.
with you, but I just said it earlier. They've been trying to anoint the Lion King, Josh Allen, for 7 years.
Yep.
They want him to take it from Patrick so bad.
Yeah, the problem is that nigga Scar in Kansas City is a different kind of nigga.
Scar is actually Mufasa in Kansas City. That's the problem.
That nigga's different. All right, so AJ Brown criticized Eagles passing. What is that? AJ Brown criticized the Eagles passing offense. Was he wrong?
For starters, they asked him a question, and they said, "Do we have a problem on offense?" He said, "Yeah." He goes, "What part of the offense?" He goes, "Passing, the passing game." Was he wrong? Yes and no, because he's wrong. He's not wrong because his numbers have been inconsistent in the passing game. They don't get him the ball early enough in a lot of these games to get him going. But the passing offense has been pretty solid for outside of last night for most of the year. The only problem I have with it is that's a conversation in the locker room. I think you just ignore the question and you go in the locker room. You Jalen, the office coordinator, have an FU contest inside the coach's office. That's how that should be handled. Like grown men. Like we gonna go. Hey, come here. We got some problems. Give me the fucking ball.
So I think there's a difference, right? Was what he said wrong? No. Was what he did wrong? Yes. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't say that, especially with Jalen, as Hurts as your quarterback. Jalen Hurts could fuck around and become the face of the league one day, or one of those guys, that's one of the faces of the league. You don't want to denigrate your quarterback like that or your head coach. So yes, what he did was wrong. What he said was absolutely right. They've been struggling with their passing game. That's the reason why we're even considering Saquon Barkley in MVP conversations, because in reality, if their passing game was doing what it was supposed to be doing, we would probably be considering Jalen Hurts as an MVP candidate, given how well the team has been playing.
Or maybe they're passing less because they do have Saquon.
I mean, however you need to slice it, but
it's a lot easier to turn around and hand the ball off than to drop back and pass it.
I understand that, but you also got to pay Jalen a lot more than you'll ever pay Saquon. So you got to kind of let your quarterback run the show. And let's be real, man. Jalen Hurts is probably a top 7 quarterback in the league.
And he hasn't played bad. And the thing is, if you look at it, they haven't played bad. They just not getting AJ involved as much as he probably should be involved. Like, let's call it what it is. Because be real with you, Jalen is playing well.
I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying he's having an MVP.
I would like him when he has an AJ 101. Hey man, sometimes you got to throw it to AJ and say fuck it.
If you close your eyes, you're void of space and time, and you were just told that the Philadelphia Eagles had this record, and this is where they were ranked in their conference, and this is where they were ranked in the league, who do you think is driving that great record? You would probably say Jalen Hurts.
Yeah,
you wouldn't say Saquon Barkley. So when it's not that way, you start to think, well, whose crutch? Saquon was supposed to go in there and take some pressure off of Jalen Hurts. He wasn't supposed to replace Jalen Hurts' production.
But why is that? Is that because we referred a narrative that Saquon was done?
No, it's because Jalen Hurts makes the big money. That's why, because he's a quarterback.
I think it's a little bit of both. Because New York and the media was trying to tell us Saquon was done. And he go in there and it's like, he got his money and he's performing. But I tell you this, at the end of the day, if they go ahead and win the Super Bowl, no one's going to give a shit.
Hey, man, we're familiar with that narrative. That's the same narrative that the Carolina Panthers tried to sell about
Bryce Young.
No, our running back with the Niners. What's his name? The white boy.
McCaffrey?
Yeah, with McCaffrey. Same thing. And he had a lot more in the tank. So
And now the 49ers trying to tell us he got a lot more in the tank. Nah, he's done. He's done. No.
Now the 49ers are telling the truth.
Now they're telling the truth.
All right, so Heisman finalists: Travis Hunter, Ashton Genty, Dylan Gabriel, Cam Ward. Who wins?
Who wins? I'll tell you this. Ashton's probably going to win it. Travis should win it.
I want Travis, dog.
Ashton's going to win it because it's a running back. Travis should win it. What he's doing on both sides of the ball, he should win it.
Travis is going to win. I got my money on Travis, not just because I want it, but I also feel like him playing both sides of the ball is really
and against better competition.
Yeah, and against better competition.
Yeah, he's not good as UNLV.
I have a feeling like Deion's not going to be there past this year. So I would love for that to be on his resume too.
1,000%.
So I really want Travis to win this award. I think Ashton is super nice. Ashton should have a great pro career, but Travis is the guy.
I'm rooting for it, to be perfectly honest with you.
Me too. All right, so Chiefs win again on a banked-in field goal. Are they good or lucky?
You know what? At this point, they're good because you keep doing these things. Eventually, I'm gonna have to say, you know what, you're good. It is what it is. You know what? Every season, teams have to take on their own personality, right? It has nothing to do with last year, the year before that, Every team takes on a personality within that year, and we even saw this with Tom Brady's teams. Sometimes they just won a bunch of close ones. Sometimes they blew everybody out. I'm just gonna say, you know what? They're good. They find a way to win, whether you like it or not. They continue to find ways to win, and until someone beats them in a game that really matters, deal with it. Because if they keep doing this and they win the Super Bowl, what are you going to say? They were lucky all the way through the Super Bowl. Nah, okay. and Patrick Mahomes going to say, okay, cool.
Yeah. This is the thing. Like, I know people have this narrative that, them winning close games is somehow going to lead them to a loss. And even I've carried that narrative. I believe in an episode prior, I said,
Believe.
Yeah, if teams continue to keep taking their foot off the gas, eventually you can get clipped off. And as I started to rethink that, I started to kind of look at the history of the Kansas City Chiefs for Andy Reid and Mahomes. They've won a lot of close games. Both Super Bowls against us were close games. Like, they have won a lot of close games. AFC Championship, close games. Divisional rounds, close games. Fucking division clinching games, close games. That's kind of what they do. Now, I mean, banked-in field goals is a different thing. Like, I don't think you can.
You can't replicate that.
Yeah, you can't fucking rely on that. But you can rely on your execution down the stretch if that's what you do, and that's what they do. So, like you said, until they lose a significant game, which is a playoff game,
absolutely, ride with it.
Gotta say that they're good.
And let's be clear. He shouldn't have banked it. He should have made it right away. It was close enough where he could have made it cleanly. It just so happened to win. And you're right. A lot of games are close. Here's the thing: when they get into playoffs, you got to keep N'Challa, aka Black Panther, on the sideline. If you let him in the game to win the game, you're probably gonna lose.
Well, the problem is this, man. They're 12-1.
Yeah, they got home field advantage now.
So you got to go to Arrowhead. It's going to be a real problem for people. It's going to be a problem for Josh. It's going to be certainly going to be a problem for Lamar because he plays on turf. So it's certainly going to be a problem for him. You know what I'm saying? The only person, like I said, man, that's why I keep saying Jared Goff. The Lions look like the team because they don't gotta play them to the Super Bowl, and that's gonna be good weather.
You're right. But here's the thing, and it could be Philadelphia too.
Yeah,
one of those two teams. But here's the problem: if it is the Lions, looking at the Super Bowl and being on that stage is two different things. It looks different and feels different in person. And you know how Pat Mahomes gonna handle the Super Bowl? We've been here, baby. We've been here before. We're built for this. For sure. And their eyes gonna be wide open in
But Detroit. The Lions aren't super green. They went to an NFC Championship game last year. They seen some lights. They have a better understanding. There's not Pat Mahomes' understanding, but they have a better understanding. They're not one of these teams that's some fly-by-night team. They've been around for a little bit.
I give you a number. 117 million. That's how many people watch Super Bowl on average. I don't care what game they've been to. They ain't never had that many eyes on them.
Not even close.
Not even close.
Not even 10%.
Hey, they got 5 games. The greatest 5 games, they got 117
Nigga,
million.
their whole season didn't average 117 million views.
So,
That's facts. That's facts. All right, so Bill Belichick possibly going to UNC to coach football. What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, I get it that you want to do it, but only thing I don't like is the fact that he's putting a caveat that if he comes and coaches, that it has to be with a stipulation that his son is the head coach in waiting. Nah, fuck that, man. Let your son get it out the mud like you did. I'm sick. Man, what's up with this? 2024 is all about nepotism? What the hell?
Yeah,
We got Donald Trump Jr.
Get your kid drafted.
Hey, Donald Trump Jr. Pardon your kids out here. Pardon your kid. Like, what is the nepotism?
Hey, man, 2024 is family over everything.
Family over everything. Facts. Like, damn, man. Nobody earns anything any day. No, it's like, hey, man,
don't
worry about it. I made it, so you don't have to.
Yeah, for sure.
As opposed to, I made it. You better figure it out how to do it. Like, yo.
Yeah, with Bill, I just don't know if his personality translates to the college game.
Not anymore. Used to.
Yeah, it used to, but I don't see that, man. You got to kind of have a personality and you got to be able to connect with these players. And I know that Bill has showed a lot more of himself, like since he's been on television, and he's actually showed a side of himself that I didn't know existed. So if he can live in that more, maybe it works. But anything that looked like what he did in Foxborough is not going to work for college. You cannot, kids that are coming into that level of football, sure, they may have a certain psyche, but these kids still need you to build them up. They still need you to work with them through their mistakes. They still need for you to coach them. They're not professionals yet. Even young professionals still need it. So, yeah, I just don't know if his coaching style fits on the college level. But once again, we'll see if they give him a shot. And as well, he's older already. So it's like, dude, like, how long are you going to be there? 5 years? Bill is what, 73 or 72 or something like that? So how long are you going to be there? 5 years? Like, I would think North Carolina would want to hire somebody that's young with a lot of ambition and with a vision that they could, kind of lock in as a long-term coach and build a legacy around. Having Bill Belichick, I mean, they're not gonna in a conference that competes like that, the ACC, they're historically not a good football program.
They're a basketball program.
Yeah, they're a basketball program, so I don't understand it, but whatever. Maybe they got some.
It'll go to headlines. It'll create some headlines for them.
Yeah, for sure. Like they need that. All right, so curveball. We got a good one this week. Pick your best year, Michael Jordan. Then pick your best year, Kobe. And those two players play 1v1. Who wins and why?
All right. I'm going to take Mike's best year is 1993.
Why?
Man, I think even though he had better numbers before the playoff runs and all that stuff, I feel like he was much more of a complete player. He had become into his own as more of a veteran at that time. It was his third championship, and he still was as athletic as he's very much so athletic. As opposed to you look at that second half of the night, the three-peat, where he just used his skills to get the shots. In '93, he's still poking on you. Pause. Kobe, I think it's a couple of them, but I'm just gonna go with the straight up killer in 06. I'm gonna go with dude who had an issue with everybody. It was out there averaging 40 for the month. After that scoring 81, I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. The guy who did things we didn't see. We saw Kobe score 62 in 3 quarters versus the champs. People forget that. I always say that's his best game, not the 81. The 81 was just sure will. That 62, he could have went for 80, and it was on jumpers. They couldn't do nothing with him. They was champs. So yeah, who wins a 1v1? Are we playing losers?
Yeah, you got to.
We better play loser and pick a score because we got to win by 2.
It's 3 dribble losers.
Hey, if we got to pick a score, so is it win by 2? Because this one by 2.
No. You gotta play straight up. We not gonna stay here for.
They'll come back in the morning.
We're not gonna stay here for 9 years and watch a game. No.
Yeah. All right. So who wins?
You can marinate on that. I'll give you my Kobe and my Mike.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
Okay.
Kobe wins.
What's the score?
What they going to?
15.
All ones or twos?
All ones and twos.
Ones and twos?
No. All ones. Fuck that.
Yeah.
All ones.
Now you're really helping Kobe. We won't do
all
that.
Ones.
Man, shit, it's 15-14. I tell you this, it's more blood in the court than it is anything.
All right. My best year, MJ, I'm going with 88.
I thought that.
35 a game, Defensive Player of the Year and MVP in the same year, and won a gold medal. I think no. Won a gold medal in that year too. Yeah, that Mike was just different. The reason why I chose him is because I figure if you're going against the best Kobe Bryant, you need to be the best defender you can be. And that year, Mike was an absolute monster on defense. He averaged like over 3 steals a game. He was a cheetah out there. Imagine like Tony Allen with Tracy McGrady's body. Like he was pretty much that. And offensively, although he may not have been like the long, 20-foot and out sniper, no one was going to stop him getting to the rim. Like you're not, and those fadeaways were disgusting already at that point. So it's like, you may stop him from getting to the rim, but you're not going to stop him from getting to his spot. And that's just not going to happen. My best year, Kobe, I'm going to have to go with, since you went with 06, I got to go with 2009.
The MVP Kobe.
MVP Kobe was so wise.
Different.
And I feel like to beat 88 Mike, you have to be extremely wise. You may not need to be the most athletic Kobe, but you need to be wise to a point to where you can anticipate.
You better be athletic.
Yeah. I mean, listen. Listen. Kobe did the illest finish around the rim I've ever seen in that Magic series around Dwight Howard, who was the Defensive Player of the Year that year. I've never seen someone do. He quadruple pumped damn near and put that bitch in. He was super athletic at that point. But he wasn't as athletic as like 01 Kobe.
Yeah.
He took a little bit of a step, but his anticipation skills, his ability to see the court, he was an efficient scorer at that point. He just wasn't a volume dude. He could get it at all three levels. His post game was super refined. He just, to me, had put all the pieces together at that point. But I still got MJ winning. I got MJ winning 15-14. I think 88 MJ, if not the best basketball player of all time, he's top 3.
I can't argue. I'm not going to argue. I'm not arguing that conversation.
Yeah. He edges it out, too. I think Kobe probably slips and falls or something. He goes.
That's the only way either one of them going to win. That's the only way either one of them going to win. And then guess what? They coming back tomorrow. They'll be back, come back tomorrow.
What you mean tomorrow?
They come back tomorrow.
Run it back right now. What you mean?
Like, where you going? Where you going?
The soon as one of them loses, best of 5, right?
Yeah, right? Hey, it's going to keep going up.
Yeah, and if it's Mike, best of $5 million a game. What we doing?
Hey, Kobe gonna be like, hey, Mike, hey, we talk about your playing day money. I got more, so watch yourself.
Yeah.
Watch yourself.
Kobe will fuck around to be like, no, 5.
At that point, five. I got 100 now. I got 100 at that point. I got 100 million. Over 100 million earnings. Five. Mike will be looking at his money.
Kobe, like, I just got 80 from Nike. I'm straight.
I'm saying, hey, Michael had to be like, can I go to my post-retirement money?
Oh, yeah, he goes, yeah. Because in 88, nah, Mike wasn't touching Kobe money in 88, not even close.
No.
Not even close. But at the time, though, Mike was touching some serious paper at the time. Nike was paying him crazy.
Yeah. And I tell you this, because I did pick Kobe to win in my matchup, they're going to keep playing. But at the end, when it's up too dark to play because it's outside, we're going straight gutter. We're going outside with the lights. Once the lights go out, Mike gonna be like, all right, cool, let's go play poker. Kobe ain't gonna play that. Kobe gonna be like, nah, I'm cool.
Nah, I'm only gonna play you with shit I know I can win.
Exactly. Mike gonna be like, hey, let's play quarters against the wall. Let's see. That's what Mike gonna do. Let's play.
All right, man. Tell these people where you can be found.
Man, the same old place, Randall_Brandon everywhere but IG, and it's real estate _Randall. That's me, man. You heard?
And I'm at therealtriune.com. Hit the comments. Let us know what y'all think about the lives. We've been uploading those. Let me know what y'all think. But we're going to get some clips out this week. So
West Coast.